It just bothers me
I mean,
that.
that's like telling me to go, go to base after all of what she's done. It's like
I know,
she's gonna take that
and then I
as
talked to, like, yeah, I said something to Spyro, and she's like, then, he said that he talked to you, and I said, yeah, I talked to him. I said, I didn't, I mean, I haven't talked to him in a couple of days, and, and she was like, oh, well, and I said, I just don't want there be so much craziness on the island. It's just, I said,
yeah,
it's too draining.
yeah.
And
I
she
I
was
did.
like, yeah, well, I kind of had some words with him, and I was like, anything.
Yeah, I mean that was the whole reason why I made the video in the first place was because and were saying that you guys were saying that I'm not welcome on the server, so I'm like heck no.
I know, and I told, I wish you would have never said that, because as soon as that day had said about how you're not welcome, I was like, oh God.
Yeah,
And I was
exactly.
like,
That's
why,
exactly why I
why
made that
would you
video.
say that? That I was like, that all that did was stir up shit. So
And then
I already knew what kind of poked the bear. So it's like, oh.
yeah,
And then when I seen the video, I was like, oh God.
yeah, and then I joined Dalek's tribe, and then he said that you guys were like harassing him for me being in there. So I'm like,
I never, like I said, I never from the get go. Because like I said, I met Soul first, and he was just flying around one night and saying that he liked dairy chicken, tick of chickens, and I told him that I had some and that I could breed them for him, and then he came and got eggs, and he just seemed like a nice guy or whatever, and that's before I even knew about Dalek and Hunter, and then Hunter was like, oh, that those guys are horrible, and I was like, well, Soul's not that bad, and then he sends me a video of like Soul like bothering him, and I was like, well, God, what the hell, this is like a whole like new episode of a Spyro invasion, with like what happened with Hunter and because it's like, oh, hey, can you move these pillars? Oh yeah, I'll move these pillars. You can have all this land, and then come back, and he's like, yeah, they pillared like right up to my Dave's base, and Dave's base will always be sacred to Hunter. It's just nobody ever built out there. I mean, everyone kind of always respected each other. Like, and I'm not going to build right up on your ass just because everyone always built big bases. I mean, nobody builds little small baby bases. Yeah, it's not worth it to me.
you think it would make it better if I deleted that video?
No, it's already out there. Doesn't matter.
I mean, it's not public; it's unlisted, so only people with the link can see it.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are just waiting for the Genesis 2 to come out. And which Gen 2 comes out, uh,
Everyone's probably gonna
what is
leave for
that?
Gen 3.
I don't think there's going to be a 3. They only
Yeah,
said
there's
there's
three
going to be a
parts.
2.
No, there's gonna be 3 parts.
Really? I thought there
Yeah,
was only 2 parts, Gen 1 and 2.
yeah. There's when people got the season pass, it said the season pass gets Gen 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, I did not know that. Yeah, I thought there's only this one because I know that Luke for a while he was like, but I'm not like we paid like back when it first came out to do the alpha boss fight. I mean, we paid a lot to go to that boss fight. So I'm definitely not doing that.
Speaking of
If you
theories, do you
didn't
have
make
one?
it, a what?
Theories?
I have the old crap ones. I still have to get the new ones. I have the Megatheriums. I
What?
have the
What?
fancy 708s.
What would you want for the one of the crap stat theories? I just need one to get rare flowers and stuff.
Oh, can get you that. I mean, hold on.
It doesn't really matter what stat the theory is. They're like the best at getting rare flowers in the swamp.
Well, I didn't realize that they were the best at getting fiber in the swamp either. They're like the little like gray bushes. Oh my god, like Luke had told me to like go over there and test it out, and when I did I was like, "Holy crap. Are you serious right now?" They are born at 5,200 and 1208. They look like a Mexican they look like a Mexican dancing party. I swap you out for a tickle chicken. Alright, well then you can just use it then.
I can get you like a
Need
bunch
to
of eggs
find
from it.
yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Cause I know that's what I've been working on is my pink Rexes and all black Deinonychus. And
Yeah.
then he messaged me about that he got the skiff stuck on the teleporter. I was like, I can't help you. I'm like still in the hospital. I won't be able to help you.
He's such a noob.
Like he's like, I'm about ready to lose my gold, and I was like, well, I can't help you. I mean, I can message Groot and let him
No,
know, but
this.
it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, there's no way that he's gonna wake up to help you undo a skiff.
He can't even. He can't even go on a food run properly. Okay, so like,
He.
I was literally doing everything for him.
Well, that's why the one day when he was like, yeah, well, he's just useful, and I was like, but that's a horrible way. That's a horrible reason to keep somebody around. Just because that they're useful to you. I'm like, oh gee, wow,
Yeah,
all right.
that's as soon as he showed me that, I'm like, yeah, something's up.
But I mean, it's like, and that was, and that was Luke's biggest thing is why are you messaging me, telling me all this, and then you don't even go through with it. You didn't even have to message me. I never even said dick to you.
No,
And
okay, so like originally, he said that you guys had got him to kick me out, right?
yeah.
And then he had said that, well, they were saying that guilty by association and all this other stuff, and then Rabbit.
The only person I could see is Luke saying that, but I highly doubt Luke would say that. I mean,
Okay, so
Luke talked straight up British,
yeah,
and I don't think they say that.
and then what got him to invite me back was Rabbit, because Rabbit was seeing that as well, and she's like, well, that's kind of messed up to have players control your gameplay or something like that. And so he's like, well, I feel guilty for kicking you now. And he's like, and then he invited
Oh
me
yeah, he
back.
kept saying he had a conscience. I have a conscience. I'm like, nobody asked you to do anything. Luke called him out because Luke felt like every time he came in chat, he just would come in and just sit there and never say anything. And Luke's like, dude, I feel like you're like a fucking spy or something. Like it's creepy. And then like when Luke called him out on it, then all of a sudden his mic worked. So Luke's like, no, something's up with you, dude.
Yeah, but when he showed me the conversation they had with you, he's like, "Well, Spy, just remember these are just lies. I'm just trying to get information."
Well, and then today, it's like that's what Luke told me. He's like, dude, you're just sitting on the voice chat, not saying a damn word. He's like, and Solo, we don't know what's up with Solo, so, and because he would have been kicked from Solo's thing a long time ago. And that's what Dale even told him. He's like, dude, you would have been kicked a long time ago.
That's okay. That's what I was asking him. I was like, I was like, well, if they think you're a spy and all that, I wonder why they're keeping you in there.
Oh, it's only Solo's the admin.
That explains that.
And nobody. And with his mom getting sick.
Yeah, and then Dalek, like, he was trying to get me to like do worse stuff to you guys? Like he's like, well, let's mess with their heads and all this other stuff. I was like, well, good
Well,
luck with
and
that.
that's what Soul like kept like saying, so it's like, I just, it's like he's like Dalek, with Hunter, he's like, it's too much, dude, I don't want to. I'm doing PvE to kind of relax, I got my daughter, and then when I don't have my daughter, I just want to be able to play the game.
Yeah,
It's like, and,
he would.
and
Yeah,
Dalek's just too much.
he would bring up Hunter like, I guess he hates Hunter like
Mm-hmm.
more than
Yeah. No,
anyone
and
because he would
that's what
always.
Soul was saying. Soul was like, dude, it's just out of control, like nonstop, and that's why Hunter like retaliates against him. Like they'll have that feud
uh,
forever.
The only reason why I like went with that was because he said that Hunter was like calling him Spyro number two or something like that, and I'm like, what?
Hmm. I can see. I mean, Hunter does come on. I mean, guns blazing. Uh, but like I told you, him and Dalek have been at it since, since I think since I came back from the break. I mean, like once like the time that you were talking to Soul, literally I had we had just now just came back from into the island back from doing all those damn aberration runs. I mean, it was every 4 hours. One of us was running the Reaper traps, and I mean, it was a lot.
I just find it funny on Dalek because like after saying that he got harassed for me being in the tribe and then kicked me out, he was swearing up and down, oh Spy, I'm not gonna kick you again for what they do or for what them harassing me or whatever. And then
I
after he
don't understand why he keeps saying that because, I mean, literally, like I said, he's the one that said he was going to do it. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. But it was never, and even on my message to him, well, it sucks that you have to do that, but it never once did I tell him to. And Luke said the same thing. He's like, I didn't tell that dude to do shit.
yeah, see that's
He's
the
like,
it.
he's the one that messaged me. He's like, and he's like, and I did the same thing, Jade. I didn't even, I pretty much didn't even respond
Either the
because he's like, I could already knew that he was just trying to start shit.
Yeah, I think the reason why he did that was because I was doing everything for him.
Yeah, but like I said, I mean, even I rather somebody be truthful than to try to lie to someone and then try to get the. I mean, how is that any better? So I'm gonna lie to you and I'm gonna say stuff to you. So and then you say something, but I'm just kidding. It's just too weird. I mean, we're
Yeah,
okay.
I mean,
Have at it.
the weird part to me is that, like, when he showed me that conversation with you, saying that he was only using me to build up his 504 tribe, I got after him for that, and he's like, "Oh yeah, well, you make some good
I don't
points."
pay attention to shit that he says. Half the time, you can't understand a shit word he says anyway, so it doesn't matter if it's in text message or in fucking.
I told him that too. He's like, "Oh, you're not the only one who can't understand me, so don't worry about it." I was like, "Oh, thank goodness," because I felt bad every time I couldn't understand him.
Talks like he's got marbles in his mouth. I can't
Yeah,
understand the damn word he says. So I'm like, he go on and on. Like, I mean, he would log in and just be like, it would be so random. He'd be like, yeah, I play Skyman or whatever the hell that thing is. And he's like, yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah,
I gave a
well,
guy at work some gummy bears.
yeah, my keyboard or no, what did he say? He doesn't use a keyboard and
Yeah.
he would just go on these weird random rants about things and
I felt bad every time I was talking to him because, like, every time he would talk, I'm like, what?
I
And
don't pay him no attention.
but the weird part with Dalek though is like after I saw that conversation, I got after him for that. He's like, yeah, you make some valid points, and I'll think about giving you back the owner because I was like, because he was swearing up and down that he was lying to you guys, but it didn't feel that way. It felt like he was lying to me. So I was like, okay, well, if you were lying to them, you wouldn't have any problem giving me back the owner of 504 Tribe since I was the one who literally did everything over there. And he's like, yeah, you make some good points. And then like a couple days later, I was like, okay, you gonna give me back the owner or? And then he's like, well, I gotta take a smoke break real quick. And then Rabbit gets on, and she's like, well, you don't need it. Like, is his word not enough or something like that? And then like 2 days, and then like 2 days or an X amount of time later, uh, yeah, he kicks me, and then it's like, is your word not enough? Like, what? And then it ends up like
Yeah, I
all
didn't
this
really
end up being
understand
true.
that whole thing, and that's why I was like, yeah, because even when like he sent that thing to Luke, Luke's like, I'm not even gonna say anything. He's like, because I don't know what's wrong with that dude.
I just like how all that crap that I did for them, and like all the dinos that I got them, they tried to make it seem like I stole a Thyla. Like out of all that crap, you're gonna try to make it seem like I stole a freaking
Well, that's why I
crackpot
figured
Thyla.
that whole thing was fake. Because no, I'm not. Because I was on when they were doing all that, and I'm like, nah, I'm not paying no attention. Let me keep updating my base and making ceilings. And I was like, I don't believe it. Just being weird.
Yeah, then
It's like as ARK turns, I'm busy.
and then Midnight, it was like, oh, I don't do drama. He, like tries to get himself involved.
Yeah, that's what Shady said. Shady was like, because the day before he seen I had my mojo mana out, and he was like, oh, he's like, I love that color and stuff like that. Because I ran into him, he was over on this side by where carb space was, and I was like, oh, I was like in I was like, okay, I was like, well, I can mate it for you, if you want. And he was like, oh, okay. So he came by, and then I had a Thyla, and then he was like, oh, he was like, can I breed that? And
Wait,
I was like, well, here, just breed it and bring it back.
talking about Midnight or Dalek?
Midnight.
Oh,
So and I hadn't logged on the next day, so I was like, crap. I was like, and it's just like I didn't think he was gonna keep the Thyla, but I probably aggravated him when I was like, you got Thyla? Because he just seemed like really like weird. Like after I forgot what he said. He was like, he was gonna have a dino orgasm or something like that. I was like, oh, all right, well, that's all right. Just weird. Okay. And then that's right when you logged on, you're like kinky or something like that. I was like, oh no, don't encourage, please don't encourage. I was like, okay, now you're done weirding me out. I hope you don't ask for anything,
yeah.
anything else.
Okay,
Because I mean, he never talked, and then like one day he was just talking the whole entire day. I was like, what the hell? Oh, I was at the back door, and you like went on the roof. Now this has a very long delay, and if you can't get in with the long delay, then you're just need to pack it in.
oh, you are making it all metal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I've been like I got time. Here's a tickle. Not bad. It's the one that I use when I go to the thing, and like I said, usually there's like the gray bush like around the edges of the swamp. Like use what is it? Right click? I think it's right click, and look how much fiber you'll get. I mean, it's just insane.